Hello, my name is Enadina Stanger. I am here because I am a patient, not a criminal. My daughters are here by my side, Elena and Eva, and they have become medical refugees in this fight with me. My daughter has been wanting to tell everybody one thing about leaving her home. Go ahead, Elena. Okay, not that, okay. Anyway, we came yesterday night from Fruita, Colorado, and we drove 4 hours. We didn't leave until the evening because my body has sustained so much damage from after being forced from our homes. My body, I have a genetic condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. The collagen does not hold my body together, the glue that holds my body together, just like a house that's built with the wrong timber or rotten material. It just gave up one day after my dream of becoming a mother was finally accomplished, only to find out that I passed on this hereditary condition to my 2 children. I had no idea the pain that I had caused them, and I didn't know what Ehlers-Danlos even meant to me when I first found out that I had this. Now, and after moving to Colorado, every single one of my bones and my appendages have been gone. I was able to crawl around here in Utah at home with my children, and since then, I have fallen and trying to do too much in Colorado, and now my legs completely dislocated. My husband had to relocate both of my legs from my SI joints, my hips, my femurs, my kneecaps, both of the bones in my shins and my ankles last night before we drove the journey here. That's not including my rib cage that is now shifting. The pain is excruciating. I promise you, going to Colorado and using cannabis doesn't free me from the condition that I face every single day. It is not going to free my daughters from the pain that they will have to suffer. But there is a pain that they are suffering now that is completely in the hands of the politicians and the state of Utah. I came home, and as we were pulling into Utah, both of my daughters started crying. I turned around, and they couldn't get anything out except they wanted to come back to Utah. They want to come home. They want to come to South Weber. They miss their grandparents every single day, and I miss my family. We had caregivers, we had friends, we had neighbors, we had loved ones, people that would stop by just to see how we were doing, loved ones that would drop off meals, people that would just give my husband a few minutes of break from being constantly in the hamster wheel of being a caregiver. Now he has no help. We have no job. We have no family or friends there. We were just forced to leave so that I would not lose any time with my children. I am a patient, not a criminal. I have a genetic condition that doctors do not understand. I went to the pain clinics, and the doctors told me there was nothing they could do for my broken body because it had sustained too much damage already, and that this condition was a form of Ehlers-Danlos that the doctors had not even seen because it is so advanced and so hard. I am not asking for an illicit drug. I am asking for a plant. I am asking for one plant that has been discriminated and biased, and we have been lied to about its medical uses and its benefits, not just for me, but for patients all over this country and patients all over this world that are suffering, that have children that are suffering, that are watching them cry every single day because they don't have freedom to give them one plant. Do not tell me that you would stare at your children. Do not tell me your heart would not break if you saw your children, your son, your daughter, your grandchildren ripped from everything that they know because their mother had the misfortune of being born in the wrong body that doesn't work properly. I did not choose this, and this is not the fight that I wanted, but this fight is a fight that needs to stop now. It is not a fight that the patients want. We would all rather be home with our loved ones and our sweet babies and enjoy every single moment that we have, because it is a miracle and it is a blessing from God Almighty. But we have a fight in front of us that I have not been able to escape. I was arrested, I was booked, and thrown out of my home. This is not okay. This is not what is supposed to happen in the land of the free. And now, I would just like to say that this inequality should be no more in this land, especially among this people, this sick people. But behold, I desire that this land be a land of liberty, that every man may enjoy his rights and privileges to be alive, to have peace, to not live in pain, alike, no different for people that are sick and no different from the sick and the healthy. So long as the Lord sees fit that we may live and inherit this land, that my children will have a place that they can call home. Even as long as our posterity remains on the face of this land, this fight is not over with us. We cannot ignore it any longer. There are other people's children. There are people being born every single day that need access to this plant. This isn't about pharmaceutical companies. This is not about politics. This is not about trying to sell pills. This is about freedom. This is about our right to preserve the life and liberty that God has granted us in this land.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sim Gill. I'm the Salt Lake County District Attorney. Before I share with you my remarks, I just want to take a second to pause, and I want you to just soak in the moment for a second. I want you to look at the faces of each person who is standing behind me. Either they're holding a family member, they're their caregiver, and I want you to look at each face, each person. This is a person. This is a human being. And they are the faces and souls and hearts which we are criminalizing as a result of a failed drug policy and our collateral consequences of that failed drug policy. I'm a public prosecutor, and my job is to hold offenders accountable when they break the law. But we need to start thinking about our public policy, whether we are proportionately and appropriately holding the right person accountable. As our policy and our laws, are they simply criminalizing status? And we need to go back and revisit what and why we have our laws on our books. I want to hold people who are a risk to our community accountable. I just don't want to hold people accountable because we dislike or because we have an antiquated view of what criminal justice is supposed to be. So I am an instrument that serves the common good, and I do what you tell me to do. But I can tell you, as a public prosecutor, the last thing I want to do is to prosecute these families and these individuals because they have a medical condition. So the reason I'm here is that my plate is full. I will prosecute whoever you want me to prosecute, and I will put in jail whoever you want to. But we all have a role to play in it when it comes to public policy. And I can tell you from where I stand, these are not the faces of criminals. And these are not the people that I want to be prosecuting, and we have to have sensible, common sense drug policy that addresses the needs of our citizens without criminalizing their status. That's where this conversation has to begin. I'm not here to pick and choose between bills. I am here to implore our public policy makers to have common sense debate about the issues that we are not meeting the needs of our community. I absolutely believe that our public policy makers are capable of intelligent, common sense solutions that give a prescription pathway to meet the medical needs of our citizens. I'm telling you, we can criminalize this behavior, and what that means is that we, as a society, as the United States of America, as a result of our failed drug policies, are jailing more human beings than any other country in the world. We're number 1, China's number 2, Russia's number 3, Cuba's number 4. And we are not getting the return on investment that we want when we're disrupting the lives of innocent people here. When you look at Anadina, when you look at Melinda, when you look at Esteban, are these really the hardened criminals that we think that we need to be prosecuting and jailing and convicting? Or are we not capable of better, sensible policies? We should not be prosecuting, we should be prosecuting, like I said, criminals, not criminalizing citizens and their needs. We need to have reasonable common sense approaches, which I'm absolutely confident that we can if we give the opportunity, and we demand from our policymakers to give us the right solutions. I believe our policymakers are capable of making those outcomes, but you all have to demand it, because we can no longer be passive about this. I have been a public prosecutor for over 20 years. Again, I will tell you, I will jail and prosecute whoever you want. But I implore you to go back and think from a policy perspective, if these are the people that you want me to prosecute and convict. They are somebody's family members, they're somebody's sibling, they're somebody's child. We have to have better outcomes, better solution than what the law is providing. These are not criminals, folks. And I believe in our criminal justice system, and I believe in our policymakers to give me sensible solutions, and that time is now. Thank you.
When we reached out to Sim to ask him to be here, that was intentional. This bill has a Republican sponsor. It has Democrat support. It has Libertarian support. The families you see behind me reflect a wide range of political views. This is diversity, but we are united on the point that these individuals are patients, not criminals. They support Senator Madsen's bill. They do not support the bill being advanced by Representative Daw and Senator Vickers, which would make them criminals. I am humbled by the bravery of the patients that you've heard from today and many more who aren't going to be able to speak. I don't hesitate in saying that literally every day we hear from patients emailing us, calling us at our offices, wanting to share their story. They are desperate. They are living in the shadows. They fear DCFS coming and taking their children away. They fear being locked away. They fear losing their job, their guns, their freedom. My heart goes out to them, but we are in a position that we can help influence public policy. Lawmakers are in a position in just a few weeks to restore common sense to a criminal justice system that, I should note, 1 year ago, the legislature overwhelmingly passed criminal justice reforms reflecting the very things that Sim just talked about. We have scarce resources. We have limited taxpayer dollars. We need to make sure that we are only pulling into the criminal justice system those people who are really threats to society. These people are not.